So tomorrow I celebrate another anniversary of mine. It's kind of a silly one, but it was kind of a defining moment with a friend that I had. I was working on my PhD at the University of Pittsburgh, and I needed to print something on a printer just like this one. And I had sat down at the computer lab and I started printing away a project among other things. I went to the printer to look for my printout and I couldn't find it. They file it under your username, and then it dawned on me I forgot to even log into the computer. The computer was already logged in and it was under somebody else's name. And when I went to get the printout, the guy's username was Jiff4, just like that. I think they file it under your initials followed by some number to distinguish people. And so I must have printed out about 50 to 100 pages worth of material. And later that day I went to see a friend of mine, and my friend, he wasn't the most honest person in the world, and he looked at the printout and I said, I accidentally stole 50 to 100 pages of print quota from this guy. We used to get about 500 pages a semester, and I had just stolen 50 to 100 pages of print quota from somebody. And my friend looked at the front page of that printout and he says, "Oh, you jiffed him," because it sounds like gypped, right? Unfortunately, jiffing happens a lot in our society, and if you have the right connection, sometimes you get away with it, right? So for example, 15 years later now, a lot of times my colleagues who need to take off to take care of their kids, I was at another workplace when some of my colleagues pressured me to donate some of my vacation time to them. And it's become really frustrating that I'm the go-to person for stuff like that. A lot of times when I take a job, I almost have to factor in the idea that I have to give up a lot of my vacation time. Or at the tutoring center I work at right now, we don't really have a vacation time policy, but I just have to factor in the idea that I have to take time out of my life to tend to their chaotic life, right? Right now, scam bankman fraud. I hope he goes to jail. Go directly to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect 200 bitcoins. But a lot of people just like him get away with that kind of stuff day in and day out, right? Unfortunately, it's the people who jiff print quota that might get in trouble with the school, right? Now, what's really funny about my friend is that he had a difficult social life as well, and he suggested that I email Jiff, apologize to him, and see if we can make a friend. And I was bored at the time, and so I composed an email to Jiff. I still have that email. Maybe I'll show it in another video. I told Jiff, I accidentally used your print quota. How can I make this up? And Jiff said he was okay with it. He hardly ever uses print quota anyway. And so we made a new friend. I don't talk to Jiff anymore, unfortunately, but it was a big defining moment because it taught me that I could email people and start a conversation, even if there's nothing to talk about other than the fact that I jiffed some of his print quota.